conference, and it's called In-Group. And so we said, well, who would be first author of the poster abstract, and who would actually go and present? So we thought about all of the different outputs, the ways that we would be able to demonstrate and communicate the research we were involved in. Then we talked about what we each needed for our own career advancement, and we negotiated who would be in charge of, or first author, in each one of them. It turned out that there were no conflicts. Everybody fell naturally into these places, but we hadn't thought also about all of the possible outputs from our research project. We thought right away about the keynote and a first author paper, a research paper, but not all of the other pieces. And everybody felt really good that they were going to be able to get out of the collaboration what they were. And I have two colleagues in the collaboration who are part of the National Academy's committee right now on team science. And so they presented there separately, and they got to give the presentation at the National Academies, and that was really important for them. So we each had to figure out how we could individually be recognized for our contribution in a public way that helped to advance our individual careers as well. We did, however, make an almost fatal flaw, and is that we didn't discuss that at the beginning of the collaboration. We were almost a year in before we had that conversation, and we went, uh-oh. So thankfully it worked out, but it had the potential to be kind of disastrous, I guess.
Another quick question, Holly, this was great. You mentioned NIH maybe shifting their lens. You mentioned NIH shifting their lens with respect to team science, but are there other federal or private organizations that are,
Yeah,
moving in this
so this is really cool. There's a cross-agency organizational group called NITRD, N-I-T-R-D. Don't ask me what it stands for. It's like I don't remember. But just trust me, it's a good cross-organizational group. And I was invited 6 months ago to go and talk to them. And there's representatives from 23 different grant-making federal funding agencies. So at the higher levels, and then some of them. So there was the Army Research Lab was there. Multiple people from NSF, multiple people from NIH. Department of Defense, Department of Transportation, EPA was there, FDA, USDA, right? So all of these different granting agencies to learn about this, because they've been doing these, but they admitted that they haven't been guided by the research that's in the area of social sciences, because none of them were social science funding agencies except for NSF. And they kept thinking that teams and collaboration was a new problem that they discovered. And then they discovered that there was a lot that they could learn. So they got a version of this talk, but with a whole lot more data in it even. And they're collectively thinking about this. So at the Science of Team Science Conference this year in Houston, the NIH and NSF people from that are hosting another meeting of all the federal agency folks and of other stakeholder groups to try to think about how can the federal agencies develop policies and funding opportunities that better align with what we understand about teams and collaboration. So that's their effort. I can't say that they'll get it all fixed by 6 months and the next time you do a research center. But to me, it is one of I've never seen anything like it in all of my 25 years of research, where the federal agency said, maybe we don't know best, and we'd like the community, and then collectively across the agency boundaries. So I'm really quite impressed with them. Admitting that you have a problem is half the battle, and they have admitted they have a problem. Anything else? All right, well, thank you again so much for your time, and I hope some of you will stick around and we can chat some more.